Okay guys, so to start off with, you want to start by outlining the shape of the hair. So here I'm using this brush. I am forgetting the name of the brush, but you can see it by the icon of the brush. Now there are no specifications for the brush as we are going to be erasing those or getting rid of those outlines later on anyways. So here you want to make sure you're just making those hair strands or maybe the hair shape in a one go, and because we don't have any streamline option on Sketchbook so that we can make our lines look perfect and not bumpy, so the tip here is to go really fast when you are making those strands. So the slower you go, the more bumpier the line would be. So now you guys wanna fill that layer up. Now just create a new layer just underneath it, because we are using those lines as guidelines, and pick up the color that you want the hair to be in, and then just fill it in up with that color. Now here, as you guys must have noticed, I have turned down the opacity of the layer just because so that I can see where I am actually filling the color up, because the color was too dark and it was merging up with the outlines. So that's what I'm doing right here. Now guys, once you have that, just pick up this airbrush brush and then just pick up the same color, the same base color actually, and just start adding hair strokes right around the whole hair shape. I hope that makes sense. So as you guys can see here, I am drawing or adding hair strands right at the edges or the corners of the hair shape, so that it looks more flowy and more natural and not like a block. So it already looks like a fish, so that is why I'm actually adding more hair strands so that it can look more hair-like. So I hope that makes sense, you guys. You can use any brush, but here I'm using airbrush, and I use this for everything whenever I am using Sketchbook. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. You can see the brush size and the color puck, whatever that is, the size is mentioned there. Now once you are ready with those hair strands, what you want to do is just lock the layer and pick up a lighter color of the base color. And this step is actually optional. You can avoid this step or maybe just skip it, but I like to do it. So I'm just taking this lighter version of the base color and again using the airbrush brush, and then I'm just gonna add this color right in the ends of the whole hair shape, as you guys can see, just like creating an ombre effect. Now if you guys can also use two colors, but here I'm just using one color to do so. So that's that. Now guys, once you are done with that, just create a new layer and set up the layer mode to multiply. Now I'm just going to be taking the base color that I used, and I'm just going to be adding shadows to the hair shape. Now the reason why I am using the same color as the base color is because we already have our layer mode set up to multiply. Now this layer mode is actually going to make that color look darker than it already is. So that is what I am doing right here. Now this is the time when you give the whole hair a shape, a shape as in where the hair is flowing. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So that's up to you how you're gonna do that. And so I mainly focus on the top area and the bottom area, and then I just make those strands in the middle. Now once you are done with that, what you want to do right here is you also want to add more hair strands. So for that, what I did is I just created a new layer and I set it up to overlay this time, and I am using the similar color. Now this time the color is gonna appear a bit lighter, and I'm just gonna add more strokes on the outer edges, and some of them are gonna be inside of that shape. Now once you are done with that, just create a new layer again, and this time set it up to overlay and pick up a lighter color, almost like a white color, and I'm using the same brush right here. Now this is the time to add highlights. Now for the highlights, just keep in mind to add the highlights in the form of hair strands like I am doing right here. So what I'm gonna be doing next is, when I'm gonna blend these colors out with a colorless brush, I'm gonna be making sure that the brush size is smaller so that I can create hair like strand when I am blending those highlights out. So that's the key point right here. That's the key in creating a realistic looking or glossy looking hair. Not realistic, but glossy, flowy, like that. And you also want to add more hair strands inside the shape of the hair. Just use the same brush as you were using, and just make sure to decrease the size of it and just create more hair strands just inside the shape. Now then it is going to look more glossy and hair like. Now once that is done, you want to create a new layer again, and do not set it up to any layer mode, just let it be normal, and we are going to be picking a white color. Now we are going to add small dots of white color right over the major highlights that we did, and also some really thin and crisp hair strands just inside the shape of the hair. Now that is how I actually build up the highlight part of it. Now that is the reason why I have so many layers right here, because you want to work in layers to get that glossy hair like look. So that's what I'm doing right here. You can completely skip this step. The step is not necessary, but I think it gives that glossy look to the hair. Now guys, once you're ready with the highlights, just go back onto the layer where you created the shadows for the hair, and just add more shadows and depth to the hair. As you guys can see, focus on the parts near the highlights. So as for example, if there's a hair strand which is white in color or which is highlighted, just go right next to it and create a hair strand which is much darker. Then this way you are going to be creating more depth to the hair. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, just do that and add more hair strand like structures just inside the shape of the hair. So that's how I create the whole hair look in Sketchbook. Now it's totally different when it comes to Sketchbook as compared to Procreate. I do have a video on Procreate, so if you do want to watch that, just I will link that down below as well. So if you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel. I post every Monday and Friday. And yeah, I will see you guys the next time.